Hello, I'm Brett Knowles from PM2 Consulting. This short YouTube is an overview of the webinar we'll be providing for the retail sector in a few weeks' time. We've done probably 2 or 3,000 scorecards in just about every sector around the world. The purpose of this webinar is to provide you with an overview of some of the best practices we've seen in the retail sector, principally in North America. The ideas contained in this webinar are not intended to be the answer, but parts of the answer. Through this YouTube, you may get exposed to ideas which are of interest to you, and you may need to learn more to understand how to apply them in your organization. Many of our clients have practiced some of these measurement techniques with significant outcomes. One example is a retail organization that was seeing a serious decline in same-store sales. Customers felt the shopping experience was declining. Staff turnover was increasing and the product knowledge therefore was decreasing. Net store profitability decreased by about 5%. After we implemented a strategic store management system like the one I'm about to describe, we found that we were able to level same-store sales when their competitors were continuing to decline. The chain began to increase in rating and eventually was in the top 10 retail experiences. Staff retention rates was improving and product knowledge was also increasing. Profitability was up 7%. And the net of this was a significant increase in valuation for the corporation. How do they do it? Well, they followed a fairly simple 5-step process. The idea is we need to be clear on what is the store retail strategy. What are the specific objectives that we need to accomplish at the store level? How do they link to success? And how important are they for overall success of that store? In fact, as stores got graded, the objectives remained the same, but the weightings varied depending on the strategic thrust we wanted to do within that store and that region. Was it penetrate new markets, share of wallet, etc. The second step was to begin understanding what are the indicators of success we're going to use to reflect the success or failures against those objectives. This allowed store management to understand what's happening in their stores, regional management to understand the region, and so forth. What it also allowed us to do is begin to identify same store similarities and also best practices that could be shared quickly across at the store level without even regional or country-wide management getting involved. The next step was we had to begin translating the strategy into the specific processes and actions inside the retail experience. How well are we performing those activities, and what was the gap between the performance level we were seeing and what we needed to see in order to achieve success? From there, we began launching and examining the process improvement projects and determining which ones were having their greatest success and where we should be replicating, and frankly, where we should be killing some of those projects that weren't offering the returns on investment that we early anticipated. From there, we had to begin teaching store, regional, and national management how to use this new set of tools to manage more effectively and frankly more strategically. How to make decisions that didn't sacrifice the near term for the long term and vice versa. Based on that, we began launching regional and countrywide programs, best store practices, and so forth, which allowed the acceleration of services across the organization. During the webinar, we'll go into far more detail about each of these phases, what it looked like, what the steps were, and what the outcomes were, and in particular, a fair amount more detail on the management practices which enabled people to use this information to make more effective business decisions.